Okay, so I'm going to give you a little bit more of an update with these tractors. Everything's working perfectly with them except for the 8530. That's not working perfectly. And I will explain to you what the problem is right now. 8530, it actually got snow on it last night. I'm sorry. I should be thrown in jail for allowing the snow to hit the tractor. But I just didn't have the room in the shop for what I had in the shop. I could have took it out to the other building, but I've got my baler back, and I'll show you that in a little bit too. But before I do that, I actually have a couple of things I have to do, and I'm going to start the tractor up to turn the key, and then you've got the keypad here, which you have to type in the code, which apparently Timothy says that it beeps, but I can't hear it. So you type in the code and then you get this, and I'm going to shut that off because it doesn't need to run. And then I'm going to show you this code that I have. Come on, baby. Diagnostics. I'm going to pull the code. It's going to retrieve the codes that have been thrown by this thing. It says no codes. That is an out-and-out lie, because there are codes. So, I'm going to go ahead and start the tractor up. Where somebody asked if it started up in the cold weather, well, you can see that it is outside. It's, come on, bitch. It'll give you outside temperature, so I forget what it is. I think it's like 26 degrees. It's 26 degrees outside, so it's kind of cold out there. Alright, so we'll do this again. Let me get this thing to do its thing. I'm surprised it said there was no codes. It's really kind of pissing me off, actually. Uh-oh. And we'll hit that, and we'll hit the codes. It should give me a code now for the... Ah, you dick! Alright, fine. Let's hit the controllers. And we'll hit them. And... Are you serious? Okay. Well. Okay. It's lying. It's lying, the dirty bastard. Okay, so what I'm going to tell you, I'll show you what the problem is, or what I see. The front end has no dampening. It'll pivot, and it'll level, but it is not dampening anything, so we'll drive the tractor about a little bit. It'd be wonderful if it started to dampen, because it should dampen, but it's not. You can see it moving. Now I'm going to hit the snow a little bit. Now it's pivoting and doing that portion of it. Which, to be quite honest with you, this tractor rides really smooth, even though it's not dampening. So, here's a bump here. Here's a bump. Let's say we hit this little washout that's in this field right now. And we'll see if I get myself thrown out of the seat. Ready? Here's the bump. And it pretty much bounced off the ground. It didn't dampen at all. The front end bounced pretty well off the ground, so I'm going to shut the camera off and I'm going to park the tractor and I'll show you what code it just threw. There he goes, ladies and gentlemen. CJ2A with busted leaf springs. When he was learning to drive, or when he started to drive, he wanted that Jeep. And I don't know, you must remember it. But anyways, there was a keen observation by a YouTuber. I don't remember his name because I just saw it today. Yesterday I was sick. I just didn't feel very well at all. Kind of got the shakes, achy joints, you know, the whole 9 yards. That I took what the heck that stuff was called, emergency and cold ease and that stuff really seemed to work to get rid of it. But anyways, this keen observation by one of my YouTubers on that 8530. Yeah, it's getting dark now. I've been to a meeting all day. FS Grow Market Bloomsbury had their annual meeting, and needed to attend that. I saw a couple of YouTubers there. Came up and shook my hand. It's always nice to meet YouTubers, you know, people that follow me. It's kind of cool. But anyways, I'm going to give you a little story about that 8530. When I purchased it, if I was in England and I wanted to buy that tractor and I was an Englishman, I would have paid £2,500 more for that tractor because they would have had to give me warranty on the tractor, or there was warranty that they have to provide of some sort, or a guarantee that it would be, you know, what they claimed it to be. Well, when you buy it and you're outside of the country for export, they knock that £2,500 off of there, and it's basically a buyer's beware. Well, when I was in England, the front suspension on the tractor did work. I can't say that it was overly responsive, but it did respond. It did work. So at least I'm 99.99% sure that it worked. But anyways, when I got it here, I had no front suspension. It was locked. It would level and it would pivot, but it wouldn't dampen. So I don't know. I went through the wiring harnesses and checked everything that I could check until finally I actually did break down and called Deere Country up, and Deere Country of Allentown, and they sent a fella out here, and he worked, what did he do? He was here for 2 days. Not 2 full days, but 2 days and a morning. Day 1, we went through everything on the wiring harness, which I already knew wasn't quite right, or was right, it wasn't wrong. We kind of deduced that it was the controller for this thing, because I was throwing a code, and it wasn't at all, because after he left, the code no longer it wasn't throwing that code anymore. Well, I guess, I don't even know why, and neither does he, but apparently, with that code being not thrown, that it really wasn't a problem with wires or the controller, but he called D-Tech, and D-Tech said it's a ground wire in the tractor. Well, that was on day 2, and he didn't agree with D-Tech, and D-Tech is like, well, we're pretty sure it's a ground wire. Go over your wiring harnesses again, check all that stuff, and blah, blah, blah. So anyways, he did all that work. That was on the second day that he was here, and he wasn't here for long. Each day he might have been here for 2 hours, you know. But anyhow, he pretty much figured that by the end of day 2 that wasn't the problem, and the computer had given him a suggestion. And I'm going to show you the suggestion right here on the floor, because I asked for him to bring these things back. There's 4 of them there, and all 4 of them are bad. These are the accumulators for the hydraulic oil for the front end of that tractor. Now, early serial number ones, which those just so happen to be, were bad. They were faulty. They didn't last like they were supposed to. And the guy that owned this tractor previously, I'm moving on here. The guy that owned this previously did not take it into Deere to have the accumulators replaced, because I guess he felt, and this is pure speculation, but he felt that those were just fine. Well, maybe he blew one of them out and it was, you know, wasn't working quite as nice as he liked it to, or whatever. By the time it got to me, all 4 of the bladders were completely broke. They were flattened out. As a matter of fact, you know, the technician told me, he said that you can see, if you look hard enough, you can see the bladder being pushed out through the side of the thing. So what was happening was it was filling completely full of oil, and then there's no dampening whatsoever. It was solid oil. So for $2,600 US, that's what it costs to replace those 4 pieces, which is within the warranty / discount, export discount that I got from Charman's. I have no ill feelings for Charman's. I think Charman's is still a great company to purchase tractors from. And like I said, I'm 99.99% sure that these were functioning to maybe a slight degree. I don't know. Maybe my test drive blew them out. I don't know. He said actually if this tractor sat for an extended period of time, it could have been that they actually were, when I took them for the test drive, that it would have blew them out, which kind of didn't make sense to me, but whatever. It's fixed now, and it's got all the new ones in it. And I'll show you where they came out of, kinda, if I can. It's dark. We're getting dark. You see these 2 shiny bolt holes? Those are the big ones or the small ones? These are the big ones down here. And the smaller ones they actually screw in right, well, you're not going to be able to see it now, are you? Let me see if I can get my flashlight and I'll show you. They screw in there on the front of the frame of this tractor. Come on, flashlight. There we go. As you can see them, nice and shiny new canisters right there behind that hose. There's one on either side, and they just screw right into the main frame of this tractor, and that's what runs these hydraulic cylinders. Shut the light off. So yeah, the 8530 is a beast of a tractor, and I enjoy it a lot. So far, I've pulled some hay home with it from a farm that's like 30 miles away from here, and it worked wonderfully. That was when I had realized that the front end wasn't working quite as good as it should have. And even that run up there, I made, I think, 6 trips, 30 miles each way. And in those trips, that's when I pretty much determined that that front end wasn't working quite the way it was supposed to. So it possibly did work a little bit when I first got the tractor, because I didn't notice it for a week or so, and I had driven it around quite a bit. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to take that tractor home tonight because I can. But there they are. Those were $2,600. $2,600 for those 4 pieces, and you know, it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, $2,600 is a lot of money, and I'm sure it's going to cost me $600 or $800 for the technician to come out and put them in and everything. I'm not 100% sure, but it's going to be probably the equivalent to 2,500 Great British pounds, Great British GBP, whatever, GBP. Think about this, Wesley. GBP, yeah, or sterling, 2,500 pounds sterling. So it's just me yammering on about this tractor, and other than that, it's not throwing any codes, and I'm hoping it's a real workhorse for me when I do get it hooked up to that big baler, which you will see soon enough. Anyways, thanks for watching. Please comment, rate, and subscribe.